Hello, Apps here from Dimp Digital. Welcome to Idle Game Chat. On this edition, we are here to reveal the winners and losers of the Fantasy Gaming League 2018. The Dimp members took part in a fiercely contested competition with both team and individual honours up for grabs. I have the two captains joining me to help dissect this. Please welcome captain of 8 Legs, 6 Legs. It's Pac-Man himself, Tom Adcock. How you doing?
Hello, mate. How are you? Yeah, good, thanks. Yourself? Good,
yeah. We're sort of giving away the game there, a bit downbeat. So those that are listening might be understanding why you're downbeat in a few moments. His opponent was OG Dimp member, captain of Team Speedrun. It's Hall. Hall, how you doing?
All right. You?
Yeah, all right. I think the last time we had you on was to do the start of this. So
yep.
Managed to avoid it for like a whole 11 months.
Yep.
That's the way you want to play the game, isn't it?
Dragged back in.
Dragged
kicking
back.
And screaming.
And unfortunately, he might be on the hook for another year's worth of took.
Disaster.
I wanted to start with the team picks, and for those that don't know what we're talking about, essentially the two captains were in charge of making 4 video game picks, personal picks. They each scored on their open critic score, and then as part of that also they choose 3 Dimp members to be part of their team, and they select games, and it builds up a roster of 10 games. Highest score takes the championship. Pretty simple. Name the games, not to get any zeros really, because that really can cost you, but other factors can play a part. We can reveal that the winner of this year's Fantasy Gaming League in the team aspect was in fact Mr. Hall, winning captain 2 years running. Team Speedrun round it out of a 799 total compared to an 8 Legs, 6 Legs, 677. First of all, Hall, I mean, how does that sound? Is that the landslide you expected? Because it's over 100 points there.
Well, yeah. I feel bad for Adcock because he's jumped into selecting team members and you've been left with paper and beer. And frankly, they've really shone as the worst 2 in the group by quite a considerable distance. So those 2 have let you down, really. Not much to do with the captaincy.
Well, I don't know how you feel about that, Adcock, because you did get a chance to pick the team members. Also, I believe you chose to pick team member first in Sir Dave, and then ended up with Paper and Biff. But you yourself in your captain's pick didn't cover yourself in too much glory because you've got a blank on there in Super Meat Boy Forever.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, in a way, I wanted it to happen because would have been livid if who picked Agony? Was it Biff? Yeah, Biff. If that had cost us, I'd have been livid. But the fact that I've done worse and got
the hook either. Paper fucking picked Fallout 76, which was dog shit as well.
He subbed it in as well.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I think at the time I was to be honest, I didn't know what Agony was. No. I'm like, what's happened there? Fallout is a bit more of an anomaly. Like 52 is ridiculous, but yeah, like I said pre-podcast, I would have put my money, like mortgage on that being at least a 70.
Yeah.
So can't really say anything about that, but yeah, Super Meat Boy Forever. How long does it take to do a port? Get it out.
Well, I think they've changed the scope of it. So actually, it's like it's going to be one of those ones that doesn't have the same level each time. It's randomly generated, procedurally generated levels. I've heard. So that's
ruining it.
I mean, the death knell is at E3. If there's no coverage of it or release date, get it out. And that was silent for as far as I can remember. Super Meat Boy Forever. No confirmed release date, and yet you left it in there. And now it's scheduled for April next year, so maybe you can go on your individual team if you're that confident.
Yeah. Well, I think that what I've learned from this is solid, sort of strong and stable picks are the ones that do it, really. It's obviously any of those low scores just massively cost you, and obviously no score is a real coster. So you live and learn, really.
I mean, you managed to pick Red Dead Redemption 2, which was the high scoring game. Was you confident once you had landed that one it would give you a good, potential head start, and it might pull you out of the fire if you had a few disasters?
Yeah, but like now looking back, I'm like, how did I miss God of War, Spider-Man, Shadow of the Colossus? Like, I should have got one of those three, really. That's
your teammates.
Yeah, it's your teammates.
Cool. That's true, actually. Nothing to do with me. Bayonetta done lovely. 89.
You had one shot at getting like a solid game pick.
Absolute glory.
Got that right. I think Sir Dave done you proud with an 89 for Monster Hunter World. That's nothing to sniff at. But then
we came out of the gates pretty strong.
Yeah, it's just the likes of Paper with Fallout 76, which he subbed in, and then Biff's Agony, which was his second pick, with 40. You just can't recover from that. There's not enough room for it.
No, I think that's the thing. I think you guys I think you always had a couple of games like ahead of us anyway, so your score was always higher. And then that Agony absolutely crippled us, and then I just fucking finished the job with Meat Boy. So sort of game over. Really, it never really looked good, unfortunately.
No,
I guess if you
go on.
I was going to say, if you take out, this is the thing. Overall, we've been well beaten. But if you take out Fallout, if you take out Agony, you take out Meat Boy, it's quite a nice bunch of scores there. But that's three massive mistakes, so it's way too much.
Yeah,
you can maybe get away with one, but
yeah, I mean,
can't be doing that.
We look at the individual bits in a bit later, but there's mistakes in those, and people have gotten away with it somehow, and in some cases end up taking the championship. I mean, Hall, you look at your team, and you picked reasonably solidly for your first pick. I think Shadow of the Colossus was a good get. Darksiders 3 probably disappointed a little bit with a 69. Detroit, I think, overachieved with a 79, and Mario Tennis Ace is probably about where it should be. Was there ever any concerns with your team or the picks that you had, or any worrying games on there that you thought, actually, that could bring us down?
To be honest, when I looked down the list, I had a lot of those games on my own initial list. So I wasn't too disappointed. I mean, the lowest scoring games that we've got have been Darksiders 3, which I thought would do better than it did, and Lost Sphere, which I had on my list and was always a bit of a punt. So, I mean, the target was just kind of to average around the 75 mark. Generally, that's good enough. I mean, we've averaged at 79.9, which I'm well pleased with. So, can't moan too much. The boys have done all right there between them, to be fair.
Any, if you had it your way, I mean, you'll be captain for next year, providing there's not some error in your life and you're washed away and put 6 feet under. But any, if you could pick the same team, would you pick that team, or is there other people you'd maybe take a look at to get in?
Well, the thing is, Sir Dave has done pretty well for team 8 legs, 6 legs, but when you look at his solo picks, there's some real fucking horror shows in there, so he clearly can't be trusted. Paper's picked some absolute horror shows in his solo, like Fallout 76. His initial selection of his 8 games, if we hadn't have had subs, he would have been in a fucking world of trouble.
Oh yeah, it was a mess, really.
I mean, he was literally all over the show, and I mean, Biff. Oh well. You look at his list, and it's frightening how he's been allowed to get away. Honestly, how these boys have got away with that. If I'd have been in a solo event and I didn't fucking romp home with it, I'd have shot myself. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm quite pleased with how it's worked out. All in all, the boys haven't done too poorly by any stretch of the imagination. So not bad at all. I'd probably stick with the same team. Although Adcock will be available next year, so there will be space for a substitution potentially.
I mean, would you pick him based on his captain picks? Cause
when you other than Super Meat Boy Forever, which as it turns out didn't matter, the other 3 games he's picked have all done pretty well. I mean, Red Dead was always an easy pick though, so I have to take that one away from you. But Bayonetta's done well, and Vampire 72. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, there's definitely going to be sniffing.
Absolutely. I mean, Adcock,
I'm up against, really.
Yeah, well, that's it. Adcock will now move into the individual championship for next year, so he'll be out. You'll stay on as reigning captains. That's a 2-time winner for you. Probably the most prestigious honour you can get in the DIMP ranks, other than maybe the quiz. But That's up for debate. So you'll have a new opponent, and the new opponent will be decided by who had won the individual draw.
Oh, God.
So if we look at the individual draw, the substitutions certainly made things a lot closer. Like you said, if there was no subs, this would have been a bloodbath for many of them. They would have all been really caught out badly. But the subs were there to try and keep it close, keep it together and whatnot. And Biff really had a real good opportunity to win this. He picked Agony, which crippled him, but he had the likes of Moss, Shadow of the Colossus, Spyro, Dragon Ball Fighters, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, FIFA, all 80s and above, which is pretty strong. But he picked We Happy Few as a first pick, which is, baffling to me.
Garbage.
Absolute garbage. And then, as we talked about, Agony, which scored a 40. And in the end, he was only 26 points of the pace. And you think out of those two games, you could have easily got a 70 off one of them and won it. But, he's chucked that. The most disappointing thing looking through these lists is that Adkins has somehow got Spider-Man as a second round pick. No one else has put that even high enough on their list to make it. He couldn't believe his luck when
that
come in.
More worrying, Biff got fucking Shadow of the Colossus as a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
Like, what have these clowns been choosing between?
Not a lot. It's not a complicated system, but yeah, to get that late on as well is criminal. In some words, it's a strange. I think people, for some reason, and Paper's been pretty good at this, like expansions, DLC, and then collections or remasters.
Taking the easy way out.
It is a little bit easy, but it's a really easy way to kind of give a decent prediction for what you're going to score. Because if it's got a 90 last gen, it's probably going to get at least an 85 unless they bollocks it up.
Well, didn't work for Meat Boy, did it?
No, I don't think it's a remaster. I think that's misinformation being transferred.
Well, it was when I picked it. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it's an evolving game, isn't it? It's live, like these games as a service. You've got to keep up with the tides. And Meat Boy ultimately was a death knell for you. And I think the other disappointed party in all this, other than Biff, who's done well but made two just colossal mistakes, has got to be Adkins. He's picked well for the teams. He's actually the MVP for this year for the team picks. So congratulations to Adkins. He got a total of 183 for his two games. So that's pretty good going. So he'll be MVP. A sought after draft pick probably for next year. He's been solid throughout the years, but he's got a fantastic lineup there. And then decided to blow it all away by keeping Dreams in, which weren't coming out in a month of Sundays, was it? It's just not happening. So he's scored a big fat 0, and if without that, he'd have been in prime position. He only would have needed a 60 or a 70 to take the championship. So he's blown it. Sir Dave's had a decent run, but I think he's given up halfway through the year. He's left 2 games on there that ain't coming out. His Fortnite beta is just never going to come out of early access, it seems. So that was a disappointing pick. Probably a bit unlucky with Code Vein, but I always thought it was a bit of a worry because, again, didn't really get a solid release date on it. Mm-hmm. And then I look at Chappers, who's actually, there's only 3 of them that got all sort of 8 games in there that actually come out. But he scored the lowest with 576 out of that mob. So that's quite a big gap, isn't it, from the top scorers down to the bottom scorers with all 8 games there. So that's got to be a bit of a concern for him. Just averaged too low. Had a bit of a stinker with Overkill's The Walking Dead at a 54, and then didn't really get any big hitters. No 90s, nothing like that. So he was left sort of lagging behind and couldn't catch up. And then it just boiled down to Paper and Logan, unfortunately. Probably the 2 worst people for it to boil down to. The fucking moron brothers. It ended up, there was 6 points in it, which is really, really close when you consider how many games are in there and the variables for a score. You can get a 97 and a 40. 6 points was in it. Logan's last pick to come out was Just Cause 4, and that got a 70, which probably fell short of expectations for him. Piper's last pick, and he was lagging behind until this, was Smash Brothers, and that's got itself a 92. giving him a total of 626. Logan languishing on 620. Paper is the winner of the individual championships, despite the jabs from you.
Terrifying. I feel like this is such an unjust win. Like, it's literally ridiculous. I look down, like, Chapper's list of games. I feel like he's been a bit unfortunate with a few of them. Overkill's The Walking Dead is an unknown quantity, but to get 54, he was just unlucky that he didn't catch any of the big ones.
Yeah.
Logan's list of games, when you look at it, is actually pretty solid. I think he's been a bit unfortunate with State of Decay 2 to only get a 68. Just Cause 4, again, as you've just mentioned, I would have put that at mid-80s before it had come out. Feel like he's been unlucky. So Dave gave up, like you say. Adkins has blown himself out of the water by leaving Dream in what can only be described as one of the worst decisions ever known. Smithy's picked 2 shit games, so didn't deserve to win. And then you got Paper, who's got Fallout 76. All right, fair enough. I'll give him that. We thought that was going to do better. Civ 6 expansion, World of Warcraft expansion, Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection, fucking remaster, Destiny 2 Forsaken DLC expansion. Little gypsy that's fucking scraped his way to a win in the most unjust final decision the universe has ever known. It's literally ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to win, but there is. I mean, there were calls of it when we first started doing it whether we should include DLCs.
At the games transferred out.
Oh no,
it's just games that moron transferred out.
Yeah, I mean, let's get it right. He made 4 subs during the E3 transfer window, but this is the stuff he transferred out. Psychonauts 2, which I think was penned in for 2018, but let him off on that one. But he had the likes of Shenmue 3. Delayed till next year. I don't think anyone believed that was actually going to come out in 2018.
I don't think it'll come out in 2019.
No, exactly. Bloodborne 2 doesn't even exist. It's a made-up game. Bloodborne 2 does not exist as of this day of recording, this Friday evening. Bloodborne 2 does not exist. I don't know what that's doing in there. And then The Last of Us 2, it's probably going to score well, but that's years away. Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand the logic, or the way he explained it to me was, now there's transfers, if I can just secure some really big ones, if I get lucky they'll come out, if not I'll scramble. And ironically, the sort of 2 best scoring games were both games he transferred in at E3, Forza Horizon 4 and Smash Brothers, which he stole off Adkins whilst that reveal was going on.
Yeah.
He literally stole it from under Adkins' nose and has ended up getting the 6 points above Loading to take the championship. But yeah, that's who you're facing up against next year, Hall. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do with the captain's picks, because you've got to make them pretty solid. But if he's going to start being so cavalier with Bloodborne 2 and make up his own games,
same 4 that he transferred out, mate, and that'd be him. Don't even get him the call.
No. Are you worried about what Paper can bring to the table in terms of either his picking ability or his people picking?
I've literally no faith in James whatsoever with regards to anything. Whenever we do these things, James is the bottom pick for me, irregardless of how many other people there are to choose from. He's always last. So, I mean, all it's done is made my picking of who I've got on my team slightly more difficult, because I've got one less person who I want to tragically avoid.
Well, it'll set up an interesting finale, because he'll be listening to this and thinking, right, I want to prove all wrong, but you're obviously evidently not concerned at all about him.
Couldn't be less concerned.
No, maybe that's rightly so. Adcock, you now drop into this individual championship, so a chance to prove yourself. So Dave, he was a fallen captain from last year's championship, and as we've said, ended up finishing last. Two games not coming out. Perhaps there was an element of giving up, but where do you think you'll place? You think with what you've seen here, you can be back in that chair, taking on Hall for a second time in 2020?
Yeah, I think I was speaking to him the other day, and he's just saying like the shock of losing. It took him a few months to sort of recover and get his game back on, and so I'm going to learn from that and going to sort of swat up on what's coming out, keep it solid, and Maybe look at some more remasters, just play it safe so I get another shot at the sort of big title, get out of that Europa League shit.
Some people are saying that the individual is more prestigious, but as captains, you're not going to agree with that.
Well, evidently, based on the fucking scores that they've all got, that's a lie. So, we've had someone win with fucking 52 in the ranks, so...
yeah, I mean, borderline shameful that's what's won it. I mean, Logan can feel a little bit aggrieved with that. He didn't really have any true stinkers, just not... We had Red Dead Redemption 2. He had the best scored game by a country mile and still lost by 6 points. That's got to... when he finds out this result, he doesn't know yet, it's going to hurt him. He'll be having sleepless nights over that.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Anything could just score a tiny bit better, and he's taken a championship there. Well, that's that. So we've got the captain winner Hall. MVP for the team was Adkins, and the individual winner's Paper. I don't think we're going to do any rule changes next year. The only consideration I think we was just about to discuss was whether there should be a mandatory 10 roster of games for the individual people. So I might table that and see what we come back with. But generally, the same people will be involved. Adcock will be in the Europa League. Paper will be promoted to the big league. And it sets up a good rivalry between you two, because he will... If you lose to him, he'll never let you live it down, Hall.
I'll retire, mate. I'll be gone. It's given that that's just going to spell... And that's the end of anyone's career with regards to gaming. The other fucking 5 of you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Adcock, final word from you before we leave this particular bit. Obviously disappointed first year in. Dave was also kind of a first year in, got plonked in as captain and fell. But overall, did you enjoy the experience, the ups and downs, and the unfolding tragedy that ensued?
Yeah, mate, it was a lot of fun. Thank you for getting me involved, and well done, Hall, mate. At the end of the day, it was a easy win, really, and concede victory to the better man.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, buddy.
Some mutual respect between the two rivals there.
What, that next year? That's fucking for sure.
No, I'm hoping for fucking venom next year. I'm hoping for all sorts of arguments to break out and name calling, especially when the picks, like the captain's picks, comes out and you just slaughter him for whatever he tries. It's brewing up to be a bit of a classic, and we'll be back early January because there's games appearing in the first couple of weeks of January. So ideally, kind of get that in for you guys before then, so that those games can be put on the roster, and it'll be interesting to see. But that's it. Not really a long one. Just need to do a check-in and see these guys off and say goodbye to Adcock, and we'll see him back in the individual ones. Hall, congratulations. You are the winner again.
Thanks, mate.
Enjoy your celebrations. Well done to Adkins, who's the MVP, and begrudgingly, well done, Piper. You've won the individual championship, and now you're going to get your shot of glory. Will he rise to it, or will he stumble and fall like the rest have come before him? Hall appearing invincible as captain. So we'll find out in 2019. But nothing more for us to say here, though, apart from thanks for your time, and ta-da.